Okay, invasions. So we start off pretty close to this island over here. There's troops and a cannon just spreading out on the island at the moment, and a couple of capture points you'll see later on. So it just tells you a little bit about raiding and invading and the impact that it has on the campaign. Tribal islands are a really nice one to start off with if you're going with a pirate start especially. So you're going to want to select your ship, and then you'll see a video here of it in the corner. When your mouse is over an area that can be landed on, like a beach, and it's not just here as well. It's on the outside islands as well. You can do this kind of stuff. But for the tutorial, you'll want to just put it right here. So we're going to right click, and it'll set a little anchor point there. So what'll happen is when the troops are deployed, they'll head over here on a little boat, and this is the position that they want to get to. Okay. So then we have the deployment UI, a little bit of description about it. It appears here above. Any ship that has an order to deploy their troops will have one of these little boats above them. And when you mouse over that boat, you get the UI coming up, all right? It's actually changed a bit from this demonstration video here, but same functionality exists. It gives you a bit of information about it, I'll just tell you. We have this tooltip coming up here as well now. So if you hold Control, you'll send 5 at a time. If you hold Shift, you'll send 2 at a time. There is minimum crew requirements on a lot of ships, so it won't let you send all your Marines or all of your sailors, or otherwise it'll lose control of the ship. If you wanted to do that for whatever reason, you could abandon a ship by using an abandon order. It's the backspace key. I don't know if it's available here, but for now, let's just follow the tutorial, all right? There's some sailors, there's some pistoliers that we've changed recently, some muskets, and a bunch of these as well. So I give you a ton of troops, and these are officers as well. Officers have an aura, and they have bonus shots and stuff like that. So units next to officers perform better, and officers they hit every shot. They're just ridiculously good units. Just make sure that you keep your units clumped together, or in groups that are like well-rounded, you know. So control groups, just like any other RTS, you have control 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 0 there, and you know, recalling them, double tapping them, all of that kind of stuff, kind of like in StarCraft and those kinds of games. So here's our troops here landing, and they're going to kill that guy straight away. And this is a representation of the troops as they hit land. They can be killed on these boats on their way, but you'll see here the colors match with what you've selected over there. When they're full transparency like that, when they're not transparent much at all, that means that they're ready to fire and they've reloaded already. If they're grayed out, that means that they need to reload. For muskets, that means they need to take an E and actually reload the musket. For pistols, they can do that as they're moving, but they move a little bit slower. Same with officers. And for these guys, they're the sailors. They have swords. All right. Okay, so then it tells you about combat. It's designed to be mostly autonomous. If you have good groupings of units, like if we were to add one guy in there to manage each of them, having them like stick together and move as a squad, they're quite rowdy, being pirates. But if you keep them kind of clumped and move them in periodically or use formations, I'll tell you about that in a second. But yeah, those are pretty good groups. These would do well not to die. There will be an option as well for something that was asked for. Sorry, this is outside the scope of the video here that I wanted to do, but for grenadiers, there will be an option to make them not kill friendlies. That's been a big concern for some folks. So close combat, every unit has a sword, even the pistols and officers and all of that. So if anything gets in close, they'll take out their sword and they'll fight that way. Okay. Land cannons as well. So got a big hint over here. This is the thing I'm talking about. You can deploy them from your ship. And I'll just show you a few of them coming in. They're just large cannons that head in, and then you can control them. So we're going to push up here, and we're going to grab this cannon. Sorry, I shouldn't really be skipping ahead so much. There's the friendly fire again. Especially devastating against your sword units. So let's take control of this cannon. So just right click with any units selected, and they will grab the cannon, and then you can move the cannon around. And you can do things like shoot out at sea. You can actually take down enemy vessels that way. Or you can shoot at collections of troops. If you can get one through there. There we go. So this is really handy, especially with when taking on capitals and that kind of thing, if you have a bunch of these. So there's a few more. All right. Actually dropped one there. It was already taken. You can put up to 2 units on each cannon. If you put a second user on the cannon, it speeds it up a bit. We might have 3 in future because they are still quite slow. The grenadier's role is very close to that of a cannon. It's for taking out towers and gates and opening up parts of the map that are otherwise locked unless destroyed, all right? You can double click on units to select multiple, and you can hold right click in order to give formation orders and that kind of crack, all right? Which is quite handy. Also, another thing about the formations, if you hold right click on the ground with the ground units selected and you left click, it cycles through the distance that they'll stay apart. All right, so that's that. There you go. To drop a cannon, you will right click, you'll select the cannon and then right click on it. There you go. Also, it doesn't matter how many troops you have selected. You don't have to micromanage like how many, or like you don't have to select 2, go to here, select 2, go to here. If you select all of them and you just right click all the cannons that are available, they'll work it out themselves based on who's closest. Okay, so we've taken all 4 of those without having to micro that. That's that. Okay, so the next thing then to do is to actually complete the tutorial. So I'm going to use attack move. So this is the normal move. And if you hold right click, your cursor turns to a sword. And that's your attack move currently. Okay, so there will be options. Like I said, again, this is like a design decision that I wanted just the least amount of UI as possible on the screen. But we will have a command bar at some point, and I'll redo this video then, but that's how it is at the moment. And we'll send these guys as well. Oh, sorry, that's something I just did automatically there. But if you select units, hold shift, select other units, it'll just add it to your group. You can also, over here, you get a representation of what you have selected. You can click any of those to select them. You can also double click on any unit type, and it will select all units of that type. So especially for things like the muskets here, or the officers, for example. And there you go, that's how you do that. You can also, just like with the ship, the drop anchor command, it's available for these guys. It's a hold position. So overall, it's a hold position. So if you tell them to hold position, they'll stop wandering around so much, searching for targets, and some of them will take a knee or wait in ambush, that kind of thing. Also, it's worth noting that when holding position with the troops, they do get a bit of a bonus to range. All right. And that's that. I think that's the last thing that we need to do, is just go over here and take this position. But yeah, that's a quite a well-rounded group. You'll notice the musketeers are quite slow. Without any upgrades, they're quite slow, but you can upgrade those at a dry dock. You can go into the upgrades button and change things. There you go. That's the end of the tutorials. and you're good to play the game and capture all the islands and the and enjoy it. All right. Thank you very much to everybody who's helped improve the tutorials over the last while. As a solo dev, it's a very difficult thing to get right. Everybody plays different. Everybody has different experiences, and I tried to be innovative in some parts with the controls and the combat and that kind of crack. But all in all, it's just about iterating and improving. Okay, so bear with me. Thank you very much to everybody giving feedback. I really appreciate it, and yeah, until next time. If you want any more videos or anything like that, please do reach out as well. All right, thank you. Bye bye.